The weight of the fist. The cold morning air burned Ippo Makunouchi's lungs, each breath a small cloud in the pre-dawn light. His feet pounded a familiar rhythm on the pavement. Another day, another 10 kilometers. But this run felt different. The weight of the champion's belt, even when he wasn't wearing it, seemed to press down on his shoulders. His next title defense was a week away, and a single question echoed with every footstep. Am I truly strong? The Kamogawa gym smelled of sweat, leather, and determination. The thud of gloves against heavy bags was the gym's heartbeat. More! Put your hips into it, you fool! Coach Kamogawa's voice was a gravelly roar that cut through the noise. He stood before Ippo, his wrinkled face a mask of intensity, pushing his champion past the point of exhaustion. The gym doors burst open. The great Takamura has arrived to bless you peasants with his presence. Mamoru Takamura struck a dramatic pose, his championship belts gleaming even in the dim light. He swaggered over to Ippo, still looking like a scared puppy. Ippo, are you going to bore the challenger to sleep? Spar with me, Takamura demanded, not asked. In the ring, Takamura was a force of nature. He moved with a terrifying blend of grace and raw power, his jabs stinging like hornets. He didn't hold back, forcing Ippo to constantly duck, weave, and search for an opening that wasn't there. Is that the best you've got, champion? He taunted. The bell rang, ending the round. Ippo collapsed onto his stool, gasping for air, his body already aching. Kimura and Aoki rushed to his side. You survived, Ippo, Aoki said with a grin. Barely, Kimura added, handing him a water bottle. Takamura-san is a monster. Their simple presence was a comfort. Ippo sat next to Aoki on the stool, catching his breath. Don't worry about Takamura, Aoki said, patting his back. His way of showing he cares is by trying to knock your head off. They both watched Takamura across the gym, now bragging loudly to anyone who would listen. Later that day, Ippo was back at the Makunouchi fishing business, loading crates onto the boat. His mother watched him from the doorway. Don't push yourself too hard, Hajime, she said softly, her voice full of a love that was both his anchor and his strength. I'll be cheering for you. Ippo smiled. I know, Mom. I'll be careful. By the riverbank where he first learned to punch, Ippo shadowboxed. He imagined his opponent in front of him, studying his moves, predicting his counters. But then another image appeared in his mind. Ichiro Miyata, the cool, brilliant counterpuncher. Their promised match was the distant peak he was still climbing towards. I have to keep winning until that day comes. The Dempsey roll is not just a technique, it is your spirit. Coach Kamogawa's voice echoed in the now empty gym. He stood with Ippo in the ring, going over the fundamentals again and again. It is the courage to step into your opponent's range and unleash a storm they cannot weather. Do not forget the heart of it, Ippo. The weigh-in was a storm of flashing cameras and shouted questions. Ippo's challenger, a fierce-looking man with a confident smirk, stared him down. The era of Makunouchi is over, the challenger declared to the press. I will break him. Ippo simply bowed his head respectfully, refusing to be drawn into a war of words. His answer would be given in the ring. Sleep would not come. In the quiet of his room, Ippo sat on his bed, the Japanese featherweight belt resting in his lap. He traced the cool metal of the faceplate. It felt so heavy. It wasn't just a trophy. It was the trust of his coach, the support of his friends, and the dreams of everyone who believed in him. He couldn't let them down. The locker room was thick with tension. Takamura broke the silence. Hey, Ippo, whack! A powerful, open-handed slap hit Ippo squarely on the back, making him yelp. Stop making that gloomy face. Go out there and show them what a Kamogawa gym boxer is made of. It was rough, but it worked. The shock cleared Ippo's head. Coach Kamogawa knelt before him, expertly wrapping his hands. The procession was silent, a sacred ritual before battle. The coach's old, gnarled hands were surprisingly gentle. "You have done everything I have asked," the coach said, his voice low and steady. "You have the strength of a champion. Now go and prove it." The roar of the crowd was a physical force, washing over him as he walked down the corridor toward the light. He could hear them chanting his name. It wasn't frightening anymore. It was fuel. He was no longer just Ippo the bullied kid. He was Makunouchi Ippo the champion, and this was where he belonged. As he stepped through the ropes, the world narrowed to the squared circle under the brilliant lights. He saw his opponent across the ring, pounding his gloves together. Ippo took a deep breath, the smell of canvas and resin filling his senses. He raised his fists. The fear was gone, replaced by a calm, burning fire. He was ready. The bell rang.